Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Hello.
Enough of that. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all the good things. We are live for our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, and I mean live. I can see all of you. Where are you guys watching from? Angel's watching from the Bay Area. What's going on? Hey, everyone that's in the chat. Shout out to Dolly says, I'm here for a live, finally. Well, probably because you're off from work, right? Happy Thanksgiving to those that celebrate. And we'll be celebrating. Today is the biggest travel day in the country of the year. Biggest travel day, so a lot of people are heading to meet their families today. So safe travels to everyone that is traveling or coming into the United States for the Thanksgiving holiday. Shout out to Bergie's watching from Montreal, Georgia. Kendra's watching from Georgia. Pageant Mommy's watching from New York. Thank you so much. Latanya says she loves my Christmas background. Kimberly's watching from Milwaukee. V's watching from Memphis, Tennessee. Love from Ottawa. What's going on? And Renee's watching from New York City. Ryan's watching from P-Town. Hey, P-Town. You know I've never been to P-Town? Yeah. We got South Africa in the building. Nia's watching from Toronto. What's going on? Nia says, Happy Thanksgiving, Americans. I know she didn't mean it in that way, but that's a Happy Thanksgiving, Americans. Huntsville, Alabama is in the building. Dolly is watching from Las Vegas. Girl What's Tea is watching from Dallas, Texas. Bravel's watching from New Orleans. Virgo Vibration is watching from North Carolina. The Mellow React is watching from Austin, Texas. Okay, Charlotte, North Carolina is in the building. Hey, Michaela. What's going on, guys? I'm streaming live from New York City. A gloomy day here in New York City, but I'm okay with a gloomy day. That means I can keep my Christmas lights on. I mean, I can keep it on generally, but you know, when the sun's out, it doesn't shine the same. Okay? Right, so you should definitely come to P-Town. Maybe when the weather gets better. Maybe when it gets warmer, when it's high season, right? All right, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a live chat poll for you guys to vote and let us know how you would rate this week's episode. I thought it was a good episode. I was live on TikTok last night, and someone said they watched and they said it wasn't that good. And I was like, I actually was entertained by this episode. I don't know if I would go as far as co-signing what Andy Cohen said recently about the next few episodes of Salt Lake City. I don't think it's bad. It's definitely far better than some of the other shows that we've been recapping when it comes to Real Housewives. Real Housewives of New York, you know, I'm always grading these shows on a curve because of that damn show. But they're rebooting the reboot. Basically, we're getting 3 of the reboot Housewives, and then we're going to get a bunch of new housewives. I saw Jenna Lyons finally confirmed this past week that she won't be returning. They asked her to return as a friend of. I don't know why. And I think Jenna Lyons is amazing as an entrepreneur, as a, creative, as a woman in fashion, as a New York. I think she is fabulous. She was just not fabulous for this show. And it did make sense that they were not going to make her a full-time housewife because everyone complained that, girl, you're not willing to show your relationship or your life. So why are you here? No. Maureen says, do you watch Dancing with the Stars? I don't. I never got into Dancing with the Stars. I don't really like that. But apparently a lot of you do. I'm not watching it. Is it on? I thought, didn't they pick a winner already? Right? I don't know. All right. Theo gave it a 7 out of 10. Okay, that's fair. I think I'm going to give it an 8 because I was definitely entertained. Sidebar, I did release a video letting you guys know about the preview for next week's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. It was so good that I had to do a video on it. Just the preview, the 6 minutes. So if you missed it, be sure to check that out here on our YouTube channel for those that are watching on other platforms. It's only here on YouTube. This is why you got to follow me everywhere. Make sure you also follow me on TikTok, because last night I went live on TikTok. You're missing out. You're missing. I also went live on Instagram, but that was an epic fail. Not on my part. I don't know what was going on Instagram Live, but here we are. Hey, Compassionate Soul says, hi, Kempire. I don't want to assume they said, hi, Kempire. I hope you're having a great holiday season. I'm typically here quiet and under different accounts. Okay. I sent you a little thank you token that should arrive on Monday. Oh, thank you. I'm going to check because I feel like a few people are sending things for the Christmas tree and things like that. So I will be checking the P.O. box next week. If not this week, I'll probably check this week and next week, just because y'all always say I never check the P.O. box. Well, y'all don't send a lot of stuff. It's certain people that send stuff consistently. So shout out to you guys. But yeah. Oh, Bergie says no Twitch today. Oh, sorry, Twitch. Hold on. I can add y'all right now. Sometimes I forget because there's so many little mechanisms I got to worry about. But let me, okay, Twitch. We are now live on Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. Damn. Sorry, Twitch. We are live. See, at least I didn't start the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap just yet. But we're here. We're here. Before we even get into that, though, I do want to talk about Mary Cosby. So, Kendra, it should be live now. The Twitch. Shout out to our Twitch fam. All right, Twitch fam. Sorry. Okay. Danielle says, I was there for that failed Instagram live. Okay, well, don't make it seem like it was my fault. It wasn't my fault. It was Instagram's fault. I was there. I was ready. I was ready to be present and there for my Instagram folks. But you guys follow me everywhere, so here we are. Okay. Hold on. Excommunicado says, Kempire, there's another preview lunch with Monique that you should watch. It looks like Stacey might not totally be clear. We shall see. Look, do I think that Stacey lies and might got a lying problem? Hey, Twitch fam, Cute Potatoes here. I didn't get a notification for TikTok. That irritates me. Sorry, Cute Potato. I have no control over their notification system. Danielle said, hey, Danielle. Danielle says, just got the Twitch notification. See how quick Twitch is, though? This is why you should follow me on Twitch, even if you use it as your notification, guys. Because you see how instantly I just started streaming to Twitch and they got their notification. So I've heard that because I stream in 4K, the quality and the sound quality is far better on Twitch. No shade to YouTube. If you're comfortable with YouTube, feel free. We have a large community here, but we also are building a large community of people that are in the chat over there on Twitch. Hey, Bergie Berg. Yes, hey, Kemp in 4K. Okay. And skincare is skincaring. Don't forget, guys, you can get your skincare for 10% off Kempire 10. I will be doing an online event with our friends over at Buddha. I think it's next week. Yeah, next week. So stay tuned. Well, I'm sure we'll have more information very, very soon. But all that information will be available in the description. But I want to get to Mary Cosby. So, we briefly, if you watch our recaps, I haven't done a separate video, but if you watch our recaps, I've talked about Mary Cosby's son being in jail, apparently for harassing his estranged wife's family. And this wasn't the first time that he's gone to the family's house and done some things. At one particular point during his last harassment, he's sneaking through the doggy door. I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. Okay. So they said that he was sneaking. I mean, he's skinny. He probably could fit through one. I couldn't. Not with my big old head. I'm like, who has a doggy door? What in the 1990s sitcom? So who has a doggy door? Let me know. I can't imagine you having a doggy door not in New York City. Between burglars and rats. No. Who has a doggy door? You gotta live in a certain place, right? For a doggy door. So apparently, I guess in Utah. So apparently it looks like his estranged wife, who we've seen on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, has filed for divorce. I guess they were really married. So, as I said to you before, I don't know if he's gotten out of jail because he was in jail for over a week. I don't know. I think Mary Cosby probably is just letting him stay there, probably to sober up, allegedly, because, we talked about him being high, and that's why he didn't end up going to last week's episode where Mary celebrated the opening of her church after the renovations. So this is what TMZ's reporting. They said Thanksgiving arrives with a side of family drama for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Mary Cosby because her son is going through a divorce. Robert Cosby Jr.'s wife, Alexiana Smokoff, beelined it to the Utah court Monday and filed to divorce the reality star's son, according to new legal documents obtained by TMZ. And I'm thinking maybe the family encouraged her to get a divorce, especially after the restraining order against him. I'm sure. So the docs, which were filed in Utah, are under seal. So at least for now, there's no way of knowing the reason for the split. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of drama. Ditto for any details on what she's looking for in terms of spousal support, division of property, etc. He ain't got no property that we know of. He lives with his mama. Roberts appeared on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City a few times over the years, and during season 4, there was a storyline about Mary learning Robert had secretly gotten married right under her nose. The wedding reportedly went down in August of 2022 at a courthouse. The estranged couple does not have any kids together, and they apparently have been living in Mary's Utah mansion, as best we can tell from the show. But I don't think she's been there since, because we haven't seen Robert and her at the house. We didn't see her there last season. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City also made Robert and Alexiana's alleged drug problems a big part of Mary's storyline. They've reached out to Mary and her son. So far, no word back. I mean, I don't know how you're reaching out to Robert. I think he's still in jail. I don't know. So apparently his estranged wife, Alexiana, has filed for divorce from Robert Jr. All right. So that's the update. And I have no update on whether or not he's been released from jail. I'm surprised TMZ didn't report on the fact that he was in jail. In jail for breaking, first of all, not only did he break a restraining order, he also apparently attacked the police officer when they arrested him. Apparently, he bit the police officer. Oh, damn. Hence why, look, can we be mad if Mary's like, no, you're going to stay in jail. You're going to sober up. You're going to learn from your problems. Now you're a grown adult now. You decided to get married. Now you have these addiction issues. You know, I'm going to let you sit in jail and let you think about what you've done. I told you to stay away from that young lady. I told you to stop going to their house. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mary's just like, no, this is probably the best place for him. I'm sure they're going to ask about this during the reunion. They probably will film their reunion in January after the holidays. Pageant Mommy says tough love. Probably what needed to happen. Oh, you so grown, you want to get married? All right, now you deal with it. I'm sure we'll get an update at the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. Like I said, I feel like Salt Lake and Potomac will be filming the reunions in January. I'm not saying that as fact. I'm just guessing based off the timeline of how the seasons are going. I wouldn't be surprised Salt Lake City films their reunion first. There's probably a lot to unpack in regards to their reunion. And for those that think that you're going to see footage of the plane ride, I don't think you're going to. The more they talk about this plane ride on Salt Lake City, the more I'm like, this is a legal nightmare. This is an HR nightmare. And remember the rumors during the when the season was filming, they were saying, oh, I heard that Meredith got fired. I heard Meredith got fired. And I told you, according to my sources, she's not fired. What I heard is that she had a breakdown during the season. I'm assuming the breakdown was this breakdown on the plane. But now, after hearing more about it in this week's episode, about this breakdown in the plane, where they're using words like bullying, harassment, they're talking about someone being physically touched by another employee, because these folks are employees. Pageant Mommy, chime on in. I'll put Pageant Mommy on blast. This sounds like they investigated the incident. They investigated it. They probably suspended Meredith from filming for a period of time while they investigated, because multiple employees are saying that you harassed another employee. And what we see at the end of this episode is to me that they were both talked to in regards to this. Whoever handled this, shout out to the HR department over there. Okay? Shout out to them, because the way that this was sort of navigated, it was brought up, talked about, and then we, at the end of this episode, conflict resolution. This is what you guys always ask for on Real Housewives. Conflict resolution, because now it seems like they can move forward. So we shall see. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm 100% sure, and I'd be really shocked if Andy at the reunion or at some particular point we don't hear in some sort of press release The incident that happened on the plane was investigated by Bravo, Shed Media, maybe NBC Universal, investigated and was inconclusive. I wouldn't be shocked. It wouldn't be the first time, right, Ramona? But okay. All right. Foxy says, I like that Meredith apologized to Britt. It was an interesting conversation. It seems as if at that particular point, I think Brittany understands the assignment when it comes to like, I just want to move on. I want to secure my spot on the show. The show's about conflict resolution. Because she could have dragged this out. We see other housewives do this, drag this out. They refuse to film with people. They think that they're bigger than the program. Brittany's just like, nope. I will go film. I will resolve this. But we also know she also likes to be in toxic relationships. So consistent? Probably. Probably. All right. So before we get to our recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, guys, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. And of course, sponsoring today's live is Homa Glow. Tis the show. And we're back. So let's get back to talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to Kendra. Kendra just gifted 5 memberships here on the channel. Thank you, Kendra. Be sure to thank Kendra in the chat because you've been gifted a membership from her. Thank you, Kendra. It's very generous of you. 'Tis the season. You're already 'tis in the season? Thanks, Kendra. Turtle, thank you so much for the super chat. Turtle says, if they were so concerned about Brittany, why didn't they switch seats with her? Heather is so performative. I will agree with that. And we've talked about that before. You're right. Like, why didn't they switch seats? And why did I don't even know if you even needed to switch seats. We have to also keep in mind, from what we've heard, not only were the women in first class from Salt Lake City, but production was also in first class. I don't know if they were production assistants or things like that, but they have a responsibility to intervene as well. Angie said she could hear Meredith going off from 5 seats behind, 5 rows behind her. So, yes, it was Salt Lake City ladies in first class, but there was also production in first class. I don't know if there was anyone of leadership, but someone should have stepped in. I mean, the more they talk about it, the more I'm just like, y'all need to stop talking about this. Y'all need to start talking about this. And I do agree. Heather is performative. You just never know. I feel like Heather will go wherever the wind will take her. She is like a Tamara. She'll do production's dirty work. She's one of those on Salt Lake City. She will do whatever it means to carry the story. She did it before. The whole receipts, screenshots, timeline, all of that is performative. Like, she is an executive producer without the title. Cindy says, and there is no footage. No footage. But I think it's for the best, because everyone speculates, oh, footage is going to be released at the reunion. No, it's not. I would be shocked. This is a legal nightmare. You can't have an incident like this happen in the air. You saw what happened with Portia. The feds had to get involved. I mean, she's been cleared. But an incident like that in the air, I don't even know this is going to be an issue for Delta. I wonder if Delta has been spoken to about this alleged incident. The more that we talk about this on this show, and it's put in this public space, I would be shocked that Delta has not said. I forgot to ask my sister. I need to ask her, because I feel like the more they talk about this, if there is no incident report, somebody about to lose their job. Somebody's about to lose their job. Okay, but anyway, y'all don't want to listen to me. Y'all say I'm a killjoy. Well, none of y'all have said that, but just saying. The more we talk about this, I'm just like, I'm like, all right. Let's get to the episode, though, because, last week, Mary Cosby celebrated the opening of her church. Now, Mary's hosting the ladies after church, and with her sort of like brunch at Voltaire. Remember Voltaire from season 1? Mary knows how to host the party. That's one thing I got to give her. How do you guys feel about a gift of a fish, though? Honestly, I love a betta fish. The male fishes are the most beautiful. The women, the females are They're looking but the males, which you can't put together. You can't put a male beta with another male beta. They'll kill each other. Okay, so you can only do that you can put the beta with other fishes, but you can't put it with another male. But they're beautiful. The male betas are beautiful. But the ladies are like, oh damn! I usually when I get a gift, I want to get it for myself. Something for me, not something I have to take care of. That's what Bronwyn said. So Mary greets all of her guests, and it's interesting because they come out swinging in this first scene because it's a group scene. Everyone's invited to Voltaire's for this special after church brunch, I'm guessing. And of course, it's a moment. It's definitely a moment. So before they even get there, Mary says that that the group was so surprised to see her. And Heather and Whitney are in their car, and there's like they showed up and faked and act like nothing was wrong. I mean, that's very Housewives. So they also believe that Lisa and Meredith, they're going to try and spin it. This is what Heather and Whitney believe. They're going to try and spin this. Well, it's already being spun. And I don't know which side is spinning it, because I feel like they're putting sauce on it. Heather, Whitney, Angie, all. I don't know. I don't know if they're putting sauce on it. I did see during BravoCon, it seemed as if Mary Cosby was sort of backpedaling in regards to what she witnessed. But based on what she's sharing on the show, she's like, Meredith, you were unhinged. Clearly, she was unhinged, because Lisa said the same thing when she was talking to John last week or the previous week. She also said that Meredith was very upset. Now it feels like Lisa's trying to downplay it because maybe her and Meredith had a conversation. All right. So the ladies go to Walter's and they end up they see that their gifts are going to be a beta fish. Fine. Okay. Mary says that she did not, once everyone's there and they sit down, Mary says, I invited people that I'm friendly with. And she says that she did not invite Brittany. So they flash back to when Mary calls Brittany to let her know that I'm not inviting you because of what you said on the yacht. And they flash back to when Brittany says, you're probably the most un-Christ-like person I've ever met. So Mary says, I did not like that, so I'm not going to invite you. Honestly, I don't blame her. You call me the most un-Christ-like person, I'm not going to invite you to my church or the festivities. And you could tell that Brittany was hurt because Brittany's not thinking friendship. Brittany's thinking, I won't get to film. One time for Brittany. Look, hold on. Let me take out the tiny violin for Brittany. Hold on. That's all you're going to get, Brittany. Because I know you probably think you're going to get the full thing. Nope. That's all you're going to get. That. She's like, you're not inviting me? Aw. Yeah, she's mad that she's not going to be able to film a group scene. So Mary says that she felt bad because Brittany does apologize. She, that's what I felt like in the moment, but I'm really sorry. I'm thinking Brittany was thinking if she apologizes, Mary might change her mind and invite her. No, she's not going to change her mind and invite you, girl. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to plug this thing in. She's not going to change her mind. So Mary turns to her dog. Did we know that Mary Cosby had a dog? I did not know that Mary Cosby had a dog, y'all. I was like, oh, Mary Cosby has a dog? A cute dog. A big one of those English bulldog or something like that. I saw this cute guy the other day. I was going to Pilates, and he had the cutest, I think an English bulldog. So it reminded me of that. And I was like, cute guy and cute dog. Just saying. So she asked the dog, should I invite her? She apologized. And the doggy was just like, And he's like, give me your paw if I should invite her. The dog went and sat down. You can always rely on Salt Lake City to give us some humor. Okay. The dog is adorable though. Yes, she said on the first episode. Kendra says, yes, she said on the first episode about the dog. I completely missed that. It's a cute dog. Just Jewel says, nope, but the dog making the decision was hilarious. Duchess says, I thought Mary would have had a teacup dog, but her dog is a cutie. I mean, look, that dog might be big, but they have the energy of a teacup. Okay. They do. You saw it big, but soft and cuddly. Adorable. XOXO says, thank goodness Brittany wasn't there. Damn, Delicious says, it's the nicest I've ever seen her treat someone. Damn. Butterfly says, never knew. Very cute dog. See, a lot of us missed it. A lot of us missed that. Lexi says, the lady, thank you for remembering, Lexi. She says that the ladies have all since walked back their dramatic renditions of what occurred on the plane. Sometimes stories go too far. I think they probably are walking it back because of what I've been saying, that this sounds like a legal and HR nightmare. I don't know. I guess people didn't think this through. BY says the dog made the decision. Yeah, the dog went and sat down. He was like, Damn, Butterfly says the dog can sense Brittany's energy from afar. You're right. Dogs are intuitive. Damn, Mary says dog greater than Brittany. Oh, Brittany. Well, damn. You guys are harsh. Okay. All right, let's move on from there. So the ladies, so Mary mentions why she didn't invite Brittany. Heather talks about, that leads to talking about, because she talks about the apology that Brittany and Mary had. So Heather, as a producer, decides to be like, oh, that's really interesting, Mary, in regards to the apology. So she brings up what happened on the plane. Okay, so that opens up a conversation. So Whitney claims the incident lasted for 2 hours, though Meredith is saying it was only for 30 minutes. I watched 2 movies and I went to sleep. In her recollection, that's what she remembers. Lisa says that Meredith was upset, but she didn't speak to Brittany. We already know that Lisa and Meredith are going to have each other's back. Okay. And we already also know that when they say that Meredith did not speak to Brittany, we know the microaggressions of it all, of how you can not speak to someone, but they're right there, but you want them to let them know that you're talking about them. So Brittany's right in front of you. Not in front of you, she's diagonal to you, but in the front seat. And you're just like, that damn Brittany, I can't say, she's always talking about my relationship and she doesn't even have a relationship for me to talk about. This is what I'm assuming Meredith sounded like. And then she wants to, and then she kicks her seat. Like, oh, oops, sorry, I gotta go to the bathroom. And she goes to the bathroom, and then she comes back and she Hicks to see. Oops, sorry. Lisa, she's terrible. I can't. You just can't stand women like her. And then she's just like kicks her seat again. Oh, my broken toe. See, it's your fault again. But see what she does, Lisa. She's a terrible human being. So, mind you, she's right there, and she has her headphones on. But not, Meredith is so damn loud. I'm keeping my volume down because I care about neighbors. But can you imagine how loud she had to be for everyone to... You know how loud an airplane is. So can you imagine how loud Meredith had to be for Angie to hear her 5 rows back?
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
How many rows? Okay, I don't know what the size of the airplane, because I was like, some of those domestic flights, I don't know if it was one of their domestic flights, because remember they had to take multiple flights. Some of them only have 5 rows. So I'm just... Meredith knows what she's saying. Meredith is an attorney. Chris said you need more of a slur. Hold on. Look, I've never slurred. Let me look. I got to work on my slur, apparently, according to Crystal. So you know exactly what she's... I never said anything to her. I never said anything to Brittany. I was talking to my friend. I was confiding in my friend. Lisa, she's terrible. How could she talk about someone's marriage? And she hits the chair again. Hits the chair. How could you just talk? How could you just talk about someone's marriage? Okay? I wish I had an empty plane to reenact this, y'all. But can you imagine? So she knows what she's saying. She's picking her words wisely. I never spoke to Brittany. We know you didn't speak to Brittany. You spoke about Brittany with Brittany in earshot. And you kept on talking about Brittany, apparently, according to Whitney, for 2 hours. Whitney said, I never went to sleep. So Whitney's probably, I know Whitney's not the most reliable reporter, but she's saying that she was up the entire time. I just don't understand why no one could get Meredith under control. But maybe that says to me, if she really could not control herself, the inebriation comments or speculation is making me believe that more. Here you go, Theo. Theo, I don't remember what happened at the end of Crazy Rich Asians. Theo says Meredith sticking to her story, her not knowing the ending of Crazy Rich Asians was a red flag, though. Well, no, because here's the thing. Haven't you been on a long flight, started watching a movie and dozed off mid-kick and mid-cussing someone out? You haven't? I mean, I've never cussed someone out on a plane because I like my good TSA pre-check and being able to fly. I'm frozen. I did not change the wire. Shut up. Look, don't let me come after y'all and give y'all a Meredith talking to. Okay? Don't let me have to give y'all a Meredith talking to. Okay. BY says, yes, Meredith, we believe you. Tisha says that Meredith is out of control. Theo says, she says, I watched 2 full movies and fell asleep. No, she didn't say that. She said, she says, I watched 2 movies and I slept. We don't know when she could have slept. And look, sometimes you're watching a movie and you fall asleep. Not me defending Meredith, but I'm playing devil's advocate. Damn. Come on. Josh says she didn't doze off, Kev. She blacked out from the Benzies and the booze. Okay, so that's some of the speculation. Okay. No, I have the wire. Jed says, dang, let us send you a new wire for cricket. No, I have it. I just need to change it. But I think it's funny. I think we should keep it until I'm not able to unfreeze. I'll keep it. It stays. Okay, don't let me do y'all like Meredith did Brittany. Okay. Amber Danielle says it's time for Meredith to take a break from the show. I mean, there is a real concern. There is a real concern. So they go back and forth talking about this. Speaking of the Benzies and the booze, because that becomes a part of the conversation as well. But first, Lisa says that Meredith was upset, but she didn't speak to Brittany. Meredith claims that she watched 2 movies and slept. Okay. Whitney says that she was awake the entire flight. Meredith says that she feels bad for hurting Brittany's feelings, but Brittany doesn't feel sorry for hurting her feelings. Because I'm confused, because I thought the whole Brittany and Meredith of it all, not that it was squashed, but I did not expect for an incident to happen on the plane based off of how that episode ended when they left the yacht. Yes, you probably are not happy with Brittany and what she said about your marriage, but I felt like we kind of moved on. Or at least moved on for now, not you having a flashback on the flight and you start attacking Brittany allegedly. So I was a little confused. Why there was even an incident. See, Ryan says, don't fix The Wire. It's unscripted like Heather's monologues. Oh, Lord. So Whitney says she was up the entire flight. Meredith says that I feel bad. I feel bad, that I hurt Brittany's feelings, but she doesn't feel bad for what she's done to me. Okay? She doesn't feel bad for what was done to me. Heather then says that Meredith lost the right to speak after the way that she treated her. But Heather used the words harassing and bullying. These were Heather's words. So I'm sort of like, you know what I mean? All right. Bergie's watching on Twitch. Bergie says, little girl. The Riz says, I think the truth is in the middle. I don't fully believe either side. I agree. I definitely think something happened on the plane. But the exaggeration of it all might, because I'm just sort of like, even the flight attendants, not the slur. The slur is taking you out? What about... That's always been my thing with Meredith and the way she speaks. There's always a little bit of a slur. And look, I have a little bit of a lisp. So, XOXO says you can take Heather out of the Mormon church, but you can't take the Mormonism out of Heather. She's very indoctrinated. I did start watching the special that they did on Mormonism, but I literally just started watching the first 10 minutes. So stay tuned. I want to watch it completely. Exactly. We need to hear from the flight attendant. I did see that there are some fans speculating that as soon as the people on the plane were getting off the plane, Bravo's legal was there giving them NDAs. Y'all are ridiculous with these. So that's why we don't see any footage. You do realize you are on a plane that is mandated under federal law. You ain't nobody signing anything. Okay, I'll be like this. I'm not signing nothing. I don't believe that speculation. Okay. Hajimami, think about it. The entire Delta crew, nothing to see here, right? I feel bad for them because I feel like this whole narrative is going to jeopardize their jobs. Lexi says a flight attendant would have had a legal obligation to act if they witnessed in-flight abuse. And that's what they're alleging. They're also alleging that the flight attendant checked in on Britney and was like, "Are you okay?" So I hope for their sake, the flight attendants did document this and did file an incident report. But I'm just so that they secure the job. Because if there's no incident report on this, oof, you know what I mean? So let me see what you guys are saying. Just Jules says Scary Island was filmed, shown in the aftermath in early Roni. So this had to be 10 times the legal nightmare, right? Because now you don't have control of what's happening in the air. But okay. All right, so let me move on. So Heather says that Meredith can't speak. What do you guys think about Heather saying that Meredith can't speak? She has no right to speak now after harassing Britney. So Meredith's like, well, fine. I guess I won't speak then. I won't. You're saying that I don't have a right to speak. Oh, hold on. I don't have a right to speak. So I won't say anything. Right? Pageant Mommy says, I would be surprised if Delta's HR did not speak with the crew. I would be surprised too. I wonder how they're going to get out of this, because these are some big accusations. Hey, Watson. What? I got, the spirit of Meredith is in me. I'm slurring. The spirit of Meredith is in me. Oh, Pageant Mommy says, who the heck is Heather? I agree. Who the heck? Heather is way too sanctimonious, but I think that's the Mormonism. That's the Mormonism in her. Heather's way too sanctimonious. I love that word, Lexi. Thank you for using that word. Can we one time for the sanctimonious? It's better than mercurial. I mean, I like that word, but sanctimonious because there's more letters. Yes, keep using big words, y'all. I love it. She's too sanctimonious. I agree. But I think that's the Mormonism. I'm not justifying it, but I think that's where it comes from in a lot of ways. She's very indoctrinated. She's very, very much indoctrinated. All right. Let's move on from that. So Meredith says, you said I can't say anything, so I won't say anything. Mary Cosby checks in on Meredith. She's like, I was really concerned for you. Like, I love you. I thought this was really sweet of Mary. Mary was just like, I love you, but I was really concerned for you. And she's like, I don't know what you were so concerned about. There was nothing that happened. And Mary's just like, the fact that you don't remember what happened is even more concerning. Pageant Mommy says, so is Heather's mattress. We're going to get to that really quickly, though, because it's a very non-scene. So Heather asked why Lisa didn't go through customs with them. There's always so many random things happening with this show, because I'm like, wait, why are we talking about customs? And I'm going to defend Lisa, and I'm not a Lisa fan, but Lisa says, guys, I completely forgot that I had global, because Heather says to her, why didn't you go through customs with us? And she was just like, oh, I completely forgot that I have global entry. And Whitney's just like, global entry isn't an app. There isn't, you go there and you're recognized. Here's the thing, though. I will say this as someone that just recently used global entry when I was traveling back. It did cross my mind as I was walking to global entry, and I was like, wait, do I need to renew my global entry? I couldn't remember. I was like, is it renewed? Like, do I? I knew I didn't need my card or anything like that. But then it was like a quick thought. You know when you have those little quick thoughts and you're like, is it time for renewal? You do get a card when you do global entry. You don't need it, though. Global entry has evolved in recent years where you don't even need to log anything. You don't need your passport. It's just facial recognition now. But when Lisa said that, I was like, I could see her maybe for the moment not realizing, but I don't know if she travels internationally a lot, but I thought that was interesting. That she was like, I forgot that I had global entry. They're alluding that Meredith and Lisa were trying to avoid Britney and avoid the group because of what happened, because they were comforting Britney when they got off the plane. All right. Global entry Global entry can be a time saver. It really depends because there have been moments where global entry, not often, but it really depends on where you're flying from, the time that you're coming in, what's going on at the airport. Because even most recently, because with the government shutdown, global entry had a long line. I almost considered going to the other line, but I was like, I'll wait, because that line was even longer. But sometimes global entry can be great, and you can whisk right through. Here's the other thing, though. Sometimes global entry is too good because you whisk right through everything. Like if you're at JFK, you whisk right through everything, but then you're waiting on your luggage. So like, what was the point of me running through? You know what I mean? What's the point of being able, unless you don't have checked baggage? If you don't have checked baggage, then it's a time saver. But if you're flying internationally, more than likely you have checked baggage. Nasty. Just say. Okay. Why are we talking about global entry? Oh, because Lisa forgot that she had global entry. She's like, I was like looking through my apps. Lisa is a terrible liar, but it's funny for us watching it. It's definitely funny for us watching it. All right. Right? Keith says sometimes the global entry line is longer. I agree. Hold on, y'all. I got to make sure my notifications are off. Okay. Teacher says, was not aware. Not aware about what? Thanks for that. And what I love about global entry, not only the fast tracking, you can get also your TSA pre-check. So that is what is on your ticket, is the fact that you have not global entry, that you have TSA pre-check. So in defense of Lisa, I could see her, especially if you're not traveling internationally, or it's been a while since you traveled internationally, you forget that. I was like, oh wait, do I have? Or was she really just, sort of trying to avoid them? I don't know. But I thought that was a funny moment from the episode, because we're talking about global entry. Now it's led us on a tangent about global entry. So Lisa claims that Meredith said that it's her, or it's Meredith or Brittany, and Meredith denies that. So there's a little bit of a rift in Meredith and Lisa's story. There's a little bit of some holes in that. Okay. Wait, T says TSA pre-check or like actual global entry coming back to America. Global entry went coming back to America. Yeah. Kunique says, that's why I fly carry-on only, even internationally. How you do that? I don't know how you... I mean, I guess I could travel lighter, but damn, how you do that? Unless it's like a short trip. But y'all know when I travel internationally, it's usually at least 2 weeks. Deborah says that Lisa was lying and trying to avoid the ladies. I think that's what was happening. Let's be honest. Yes, I did come all the way around trying to defend Lisa. Not intentionally, because I'm not a Lisa stan. Keith, thank you so much for being a member. Keith says, was Lisa blinking a lot? That's how we know she's lying. I definitely think she was using an excuse, but because I had the recent incident myself, I was like, oh, well, let's play devil's advocate. Let me twerk on a fence for a hot second. Okay? Thank you so much, Image, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you for the super chat. Image says, trying to talk sense into Meredith is like trying to get blood out of a turnip. I love how Mary went from you're boring to we love you, Meredith. I mean, that is Mary Cosby. 1 minute she loves you, the next minute she's throwing you under a bus. Tisha, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Thank you. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for gifting memberships. I believe it was 2 hours, like Whitney said. Remember, Meredith holds grudges for 3 seasons minimum. I definitely believe that it was longer than 30 minutes. Crystal, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. I wish they would show the super sticker. That would be cool. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. She says, they should have just yelled no fly list so she would have shut up real quick. Right? I don't know. This is going to be a big hot topic of conversation. It wouldn't shock me, though. We will never get to the crux of this story for maybe like 3 more seasons. Mr. Mellon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat. Mr. Mellon says, I think Mare was going off and the wine didn't help. Lisa said, show the vid so that she can be quiet. I think she hit Brit's chair when she kept getting up. Yeah, she probably did it intentionally. You know, being dramatic, like as she's like she's using it. You know how you could be passive aggressive and then try to be like, oh, I'm sorry, did I hit your seat? Look, sorry, did I hit your seat? I'm sorry. Okay. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says, I'm watching the episode now. I hope you're still around when I'm done. I miss y'all guys so much, but work is ruining my life. I can't wait to win a lottery. Thank you, Zoe. We appreciate the support. Image, thank you for another super chat. Not Meredith giving them all the drug tests next episode. Yeah. I mean, it's very convenient that you are the one giving the drug test, so you know not to have drugs in your system when taking it. They should be giving you the one. Okay, K-Unique says packing cubes and also a backpack. That sounds arduous. Also, I like going on a plane with, if I don't have to have a carry-on, I check it. Especially like coming home and you check everything, like whatever. I don't need, if nothing makes it back, whatever, I'm home. But I like going on the airplane with just my bag, just my book bag. Feel light and breezy, like I have nothing. Especially if you're traveling alone. If you're traveling with someone else, it's okay to have like your carry-on. You watch it when I go to the bathroom. But when we are sidebarring to a whole other level. I'm just telling you what my thoughts, y'all. Siren Ness says, so Brittany broke down after they landed. Apparently she was, they were comforting her as they were getting her off the plane. So I don't know. Look, Desiree says, I don't think Meredith is on drugs. What about drinking? You think the drinking is the problem? Nia says, like Meredith, but you like Meredith, but she's hella condescending. She is. Tish says, I hate traveling like that. It feels like backpacking. Right? I agree. But I get it. If you can do it, fantastic. Amazing. Pageant Mommy says, drug test probably administered by the same actor as Emily's lie detector guy. Do they do drug testing? What does their website say? Probably. All right. So Lisa claims that Meredith said it was either Meredith or Brittany. Meredith denies ever saying that. So Whitney is confronted because remember Bronwyn had a conversation with Meredith, and she also had a conversation with Whitney. So the conversation that Bronwyn had with Meredith, that's where she talks about, well, Whitney thinks that maybe you mixed alcohol and pills. Because Meredith brings it up, and she's like, well, I hear Whitney is saying things that is very damaging. Okay? And Whitney is like, well, there's only one person, and she's looking at Bronwyn, there's only one person that I had a conversation about that with. So Bronwyn immediately chimes in and says, well, no. I had the conversation with her. So now Bronwyn feels a way. Now she has an issue with Whitney, and now she feels a way that Meredith kind of throws her under the bus. Okay? So Whitney told Bronwyn that she saw Meredith drinking before getting on the plane. So they were in the lounge drinking. I mean, that's common. Some of y'all drinking on the plane. So Whitney says that she questions whether that Meredith remembered what happened. Because she's thinking, because remember, her father also is an addict. And she says it kind of is triggering to her, seeing this. An Artistic Awakening says, shout out to my fellow Saggies. My B-Day is tomorrow. Happy early birthday. And happy Thanksgiving to those that celebrate tomorrow. Happy Sagittarius season, Sags. I know y'all gonna be partying it up. Y'all know how y'all do. Desiree says, Whitney's still thinking she's Nancy Drew. I feel like Whitney makes some really damaging claims about people on this show. She has a habit of doing that. And I know people appreciate her being the one to bring stuff up, but these are some big claims that she makes in this episode about Meredith's drinking and pills and things like that. But I can't be mad at her if this is what she actually witnessed. I might be questioning, is she okay? Look, Camille says that everything is triggering to Whitney. Well, you know. Nandy says, I don't think Bronwyn was wrong with the conversation because she wanted to know everything since she wasn't there. I don't think Bronwyn was wrong either. And she owned it. She owned it. Like, I had this conversation with Whitney and I told Meredith. And I don't think, look, they're filming a show. So Whitney can't be that mad. You're filming it. So, Meredith is going to eventually find out. But they always sort of like pretend like they're upset as if they're not filming a reality show where this information is going to be mentioned. All right, so they end that scene. We're only on the first scene. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy, free. We're almost at 200 likes. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. And, of course, shout out to our subscribers. Subscribe today. We're almost at 557,000 subscribers. So thank you to all our subscribers. Sidebar, I did want to take a moment and send love and prayers to Funky Dineva. He revealed yesterday that he was diagnosed with stage 1 prostate cancer. So when you take a moment today and you pray for Funky. I mean, stage 1 is good that he found it, but he did come to social media to announce that he had been diagnosed. So look, no matter how you feel about Funky, his content, or what he said in the past, this is not a moment for that. We don't wish ill on anyone, especially when it comes to your health. And wasn't I just saying this the other day for those that follow me on all the platforms? I was like, you have nothing if you don't have your health. So let's make sure that we lift Funky up in prayer and in this journey. He also said, don't reach out to him. I understand that, because the last thing you need is people like, oh my God, are you okay? Do you need... He has the support. Let's just pray for him. Okay. All right, guys, let's move on. Bronwyn at home with her mother. Okay. Bronwyn apparently is not a U.S. citizen. Well, I'm wondering if she's a U.S. citizen now, because it was filmed a while ago. Okay. Bronwyn apparently was born in Brazil, and her parents are from the U.K., but her other siblings were born in the U.S. Yeah. So she says she's working on getting her citizenship. Why wait so long? Because you did marry a U.S. citizen. Todd, unless Todd is not a U.S. citizen. So, and look, this might be, here go my speculation. This might be another reason why she hasn't divorced Todd yet, or hasn't filed for a divorce. She's like, I need to get my citizenship. I need to secure the bag. She's got reasons to stay in this marriage, and she's like, I will do whatever. You want to have another person involved? You want to have an open marriage? Fine. But I'm going to get my citizenship, and I'm going to secure a bag, okay? And my position on this show. She's a Virgo. She's taking care of all of this. Mary says in the chat, Bronwyn is Brazilian. That's a plot twist. Yeah, she was born in Brazil. And she's got she's got her Brazilian citizenship, and she's got her UK citizenship. Can you have 3, or she's going to have to give up 1? Okay. T says, I need Bronwyn to fake her accent like Tia. But she grew up here. She was born in Brazil, but she grew up here. Okay. All right. Her mother refers to her as an oops. I was like, damn, not an oops. Bronwyn says, I'm really excited about Jerry Duty. I'm probably the only person excited about Jerry Duty. You are. She says she already has an outfit picked out. We know you do, Bronwyn. They probably be like, yeah, you can't be here dressed like that, madam. All right, then we had this other scene with Heather and her daughters. She's been going through the whole empty nest syndrome, and she decorated this new room for it to be her office. So she brings her daughters in to show it to them. And she's like, I bought this big, beautiful house for me and my daughters, and now they're all going off to college, so it's now just me. She's got this pool, the pool boys, who weren't hot. Sorry, pool boys. And she's like, oh, look at the pool boys, whatever. And, of course, this episode was somewhat sponsored by Wayfair. I thought it was interesting that she mentioned Wayfair in the scene. And I was like, oh, and I wasn't shocked that we got a Wayfair commercial. Well, good for her. She's got a bunch of Wayfair furniture up in that house, which is fine. It's fine. All right. Moving on. Meredith and Lisa meet up at the nail salon. Did y'all notice how they zoomed in on Lisa's cankles? Oh, I'm pointing out what they did. Yes, she was getting a pedicure, but they zoomed in when she showed off her ankles. I was like, they are so messy. All right. So, and I had to think about, because you remember what Angie said about her ankles. I was like, oh, damn. Fine. So they discussed Heather's comments, and Meredith says that she wasn't happy about what Heather had to say, but because she expected more from Heather. And it was actually, she was more upset with Whitney, alluding to her mental health and possible substance abuse. I was like, ooh. So Meredith says that she feels like they're trying to exacerbate the incident. I definitely think they're exacerbating it, but I definitely think the incident was probably pretty bad. All right. This is where Lisa reveals that she met with Brittany. So they flash back to Lisa meeting with Brittany. And Brittany says that she felt that Lisa was complicit in the incident with Meredith. And Lisa's like, oh, I don't think I was. Brittany says that this was the 6th. Okay, come on, Lisp. This was the 6th worst thing to happen to her in her life. Only Brittany. See, this is why I say Brittany's perfect for the show, y'all. She's her quirky, weirdo behavior, and I mean that in the best way, Britt. She said this is the 6th worst incident to happen to her in her life. What was the first 5? Was it the high body count hair? Was it your daughter's not talking to you? Was it your first divorce, then your second divorce, and then okay, I got to 5. I got to 5. I need her now at the reunion. Someone needs to ask this question to Andy Unblocked. I can't. Ask Brittany, what were the first 5? Y'all didn't think that was interesting? I had to rewind. I was like, did she really just say this is the 6th worst incident to happen to her in her life? And I was looking at the captions. I was like, oh, no, she did say this is the 6th worst incident to happen in her life. Come on now. Jen says if the first 5 probably revolve around Jared. Damn. Randy says that Brittany seems insufferable. She's perfect for the show. See, look, Cheyenne says that I've grown to like Britt. I've been telling you guys. Oh, damn. Pageant Mommy says she must have 4 children. Come on. One of my favorite scenes in this episode was the therapy scene with her and her daughter, which we'll get to in a second. So Lisa had this separate scene with Brittany. And by the end of that conversation, based on what we saw, it didn't seem like it ended well. But she's like, I'm in a good place with Brittany. Oh, all right. So Meredith says that she's going to be the bigger person and move on. Meredith then slams Brittany because she wants to move on, but then she takes all these digs at Brittany. She's like, she's sad, can't hold a relationship, and her career is in shambles. She didn't say it like, I'm paraphrasing. And I was like, damn, poor Brittany. The way that she tore her apart. Then Lisa said, maybe it'd be good if you guys had a conversation together. And then Meredith says, well, I'm open to having a conversation. Okay. Which is what happens at the end of the episode. Okay. What I wish didn't happen was this scene with Heather and Whitney. So apparently Whitney drives this big old U-Haul to Heather's house because I'm wondering, like, what are they moving? They're moving her marital mattress. She has been divorced, guys, for how many years? And you're still sleeping on your marital mattress? Like, she's had money for quite some time. Even before the show, she's had a beauty lab. You're still sleeping. Look, I know in all fairness, some of y'all are probably still sleeping on 20-year-old mattresses. And your mattresses probably look like Heather's with all those pee stains. Because she said there weren't sex stains. So what else could they be then? Heather eating in bed? Okay, we'll run with that narrative. And y'all don't get... It seems like she now has a mattress cover. You didn't have a mattress cover before? If you look at my mattress, well, not my new one, because I have a mattress cover on that too. But if you look at my other mattress at the house that I've had for probably like 10 plus years, There's a warranty on it. I think it's like a 15-year warranty on it. Stop. And plus, now I'm not sleeping on it. If you look at that mattress, it looks stellar because I also have a mattress cover on it. She should be embarrassed. Does she not have any shame? Oh, damn. Amina said period stains as well. Ew. You should be embarrassed. Okay? Embarrassed. I mean, it wasn't lost on me, her making fun of herself. In this moment, she has self-deprecating humor. But you should be embarrassed. What in the pee stains and things like that? Okay, well, here comes Susan. Susan said, my dog, when she got old, ruined my bed. Okay, all right. Does Heather have any dogs? She also makes a joke that she was a good Mormon, because the whole premise with Mormons is that you don't let any fluids sort of, She said she was a good Mormon. So she took all of it. Okay. All right, fine. Let this be a reminder to those of you that don't have one. Get you a mattress cover. Cover your mattress. Okay? Right? Lexi says, at least cover it up on TV. Then we wouldn't be talking about it. We wouldn't have a good old time making fun of Heather and her nasty self. Tish says she was embarrassed for her. Danielle says, my girlfriend got her cycle on my new mattress and it went through the... What, was it a cheap cover? Oh! Ew, my girlfriend got her cycle on my new mattress and it went through the cover. See, okay, in all fairness, shout out to the ladies. Y'all have some other things that can happen that can cause these things, so I'm going to give you grace. I still was grossed out, though. You should see my mattress. Beautiful. Beautiful. No stains at all. Keith says, I don't allow my dog on my bed anymore. He peed one time, and that was the last time. Y'all really keeping me with no children and no dogs, to say. T-Lux says, not the mattress shaming. She should be embarrassed. Thank you guys so much for over 200 likes. Sam, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Guys, you can support just by liking the video. We have over 700 of you watching. And how many people watching on X and on Twitch? We have over almost 200 of you watching there. Shout out to everyone. Acids is saying, ew, on Twitch. Roger is watching. Roger, you watching on both platforms? Says, oh, that's not Kempire. Stop. What? What'd I do? What'd I say? Where we meet? What are you talking about on here, Roger? I don't even know what you're talking about. Roger says, Kemp not eating in bed. Just saying. Acid says, Kempire, don't you dare. I am absolutely not. Oh, all right. Shout out to our Twitch fam. Okay. If you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call-in link for you guys on the community tab just before I forget. I'm not taking callers just yet, but I will be in a hot second. So Team Kempire members, Royal Court members, and Senior Royals, I'll be dropping the call link for you guys first. Let me do that because I always forget. And then I'm like, oh, I'm done. And then I didn't give you guys enough time to call in. Live chat, let's get to 300 likes and I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. Keep liking the video. BY says, I would have gotten rid of the mattress years ago. No mattress cover. What is going on in that house? Here's the thing, too. Honestly, I get it. When she left her husband, maybe she couldn't afford to go get a new mattress and things like that. However, since being on reality television, I would have gotten a new mattress because I was like, I want to get rid of any of his energy, things like that. Right? But okay, we've digressed. We have digressed. Where'd my notes go? Here we go. So they have the funeral for her mattress. So she's embarrassed. She's like, look away, look away. All right. Whitney says that Meredith uses her as a scapegoat, and she generally is concerned that Meredith blacked out on the plane. And then this is where Whitney basically says that she thinks that Meredith has a drinking or substance abuse problem. And I can't deny, y'all, I cringed because that's a big accusation to have against someone. And then you double down and say, because your father has an addiction issue, so you're being triggered by what's happening. I'm like, this is a big accusation. That's something that we really try not to, we'll say like, I'm not trying to, diagnose anyone, but the behavior is giving whatever. But she's outright saying it. Whitney's outright saying that, that she believes that there's a problem with Meredith and that she's concerned. All right. Speaking of concern, Brittany and her daughter Olivia go to therapy. And I thought this was a beautiful moment. Do you feel that it was genuine on Brittany's part? Brittany, you should be so proud of your daughter. The way that she's able to articulate herself and articulate her feelings. Not only is she smart, you could tell that she's emotionally in tuned and smart and emotionally mature. So Olivia really speaks to her feelings, and she says that things were good with her mom until she divorced her dad. We got another element to the story. She says when she got married again, Brittany was better. It was a better mom to her step siblings. And it seems like she probably was a better mom to the step siblings in order to please the husband. But then she treated her daughters like crap. Because remember, she originally, when Olivia first came on the season, she said that her mom used to be such a doting mom, so involved. Now it makes me wonder, was she only that way because she was trying to please that husband? And this could all stem from Mormonism. Remember, Heather told us that. The priority is the husband. The only way you're going to get into heaven is through the husband, according to Mormonism. So that might be part of the reason why she was so good to her children in the early years, because she was trying to please her husband. And then when she got married to this next husband, she was so good to those children. Now she probably doesn't even talk to those children, the stepchildren. That might have been her conditioning. I don't know. Crystal says, I believe every word. I believe the daughter. Olivia, I believe 100%. So Olivia says she still wants a relationship with Brittany, and she feels crazy for even wanting a relationship with her because her brain is telling her that she's going to get hurt. Do you think that Brittany is ready to really be a mom to her daughter? I hope so. I really hope that this is genuine, because there is a little bit of narcissism that I get from Brittany that I'm like, it's a little concerning, just a little concerning. So Brittany says that she really doesn't want anything necessarily from therapy. She really is there to support her daughter so that her daughter's able to get everything that she needs so that she's able to move on. And the therapist is like, no, therapy doesn't work that way. You can also get something. So Brittany gets upset and she's like, I just don't feel like I'm worthy and that I deserve anything. And then Olivia's just like, it's interesting because I feel that way too. Because she talks about navigating these other relationships in her life. And she says she feels like she doesn't get close to people because she's afraid that they're going to get to know her and not want her anymore. She has abandonment issues because of her mom. Like I'm trying to describe what she said during the episode. But basically, Olivia has abandonment issues because of her mom. So that has prevented her from getting close because the one person that she was supposed to be close with and be able to be herself with turned on her, and she internalized that and made it about her, meaning that, like, oh, maybe something was wrong with me, and that's why my mom rejected me. That BA in psychology is working. Enough of that. Acid says, not as long as Jared's in the picture. She needs to get rid of Jared because Jared's not a good person. He's not a good man, and he's definitely not going to help their relationship. I still can't get over when Olivia was last on this show. She said that she was supposed to have a conversation with her mother, and she went to her mother's home, and her mother was making out with Jared in front of her. Ew. Ew. Ew on Brittany and ew on Jared for doing that. But then I kind of look at Jared like, ew, why are you doing this in front of a teenage girl? Ew. There's something else about that. Ew. Get rid of Jared. Sorry. Nora says it's a painful wound. But I was glad to see that they're in therapy. We didn't expect to see the scene. I was like, okay, here we go. Oh, Excommunicado says, I really hope Olivia is getting paid good. But I don't think Brittany is ready to be a good mom as she claims. I feel like a part of this scene was camera on Brittany's end, and it's sad. There's a part of me that doesn't necessarily 100% believe Brittany. I believe Olivia. I don't know if Olivia is getting paid either. So then there's that. Usually family members do not get paid. if Olivia and her father are smart, she should be getting paid. And if not, Brittany should be doing something for her. Dion, thank you so much for being a member. Dion says Oprah has a podcast about emotional cutoff amongst children and parents. I remember that because she really never had a true relationship with her own mom, Oprah, but she took care of her mom financially until she died. And I think she also talked about that on her podcast in regards to how she had to process losing her mother and not necessarily being emotionally connected to her mother in that way. So the loss didn't feel like probably the way she felt after she lost Dr. Maya Angelou. T says, I do not believe Brittany at all. Well, damn. Damn. T, thank you so much for the super chat. T says, Brittany's daughter had the type of story you read about on Reddit. These stories are on Reddit? I really don't. Like, the only toxic platform I'm on is X. My heart broke for her. Damn. Sam, thank you so much for the super chat. Sam says, accusing Meredith when Heather has had a DUI charge. Heather has had a DUI charge? Sam, I didn't know that. Or did I know that and just conveniently forgot, or just used to all these housewives having DUIs? Image, thank you so much for the super chat. Image says, can you please imagine if Meredith did this on Stephanie's private jet? I mean, I could understand. Honestly, if they were on a private jet, I could understand maybe this incident happening. But on a commercial flight, oh my gosh. Kendra says, Kempire, get your talk show so you can ask them the tough questions. I look forward to it. Let's picture it together. Picture the set, picture the chairs, picture the color, picture the backdrop, picture the audience, picture them all rooting my name. Kempire, 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 go Kempire, go Kempire. We got to figure out what our chant will be, because that didn't work for me. But I saw it, I pictured it. Let's all co-create it together. I think if all of us do it, the faster it will come. Next year, let's do it.
You know you've reached peak couple energy when your undies match. MeUndies Match Me has you both covered. Literally, in super soft ultra-modal undies, socks, PJs, and loungewear. Festive prints? Check. Cozy vibes? Double check. And right now, it's deal season. Get up to 50% off site-wide for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Take your couple game to the next level with MeUndies Match Me. To get deals up to 50% off, go to MeUndies.com/comfort, promo code COMFORT. That's MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
All right, guys, we're almost at 250 likes. Keep liking the video if you haven't already. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Don't forget, you can also hear our podcast, or you can hear the live recaps on the podcast. We did just drop a new episode of Club Kempire. So if you're a Club Kempire member, that's our paid podcast subscription. There's also a free 3-day trial. There we go. Be sure to become a Club Kempire baddie today. Okay. Not, are you okay? Latonya says, chant, are you okay? Nora says, are you okay will be the chant. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Latasha says, Kemp, that's probably better because that is my government. Oh, you didn't know? BY says, Olivia is emotionally mature, so I believe what she is saying. I wonder about Brittany's relationship with her own mother or father. I mean, I'm sure we will be unpacking some of that. Let's move on. Speaking of mother-daughter relationships, Okay. Bronwyn has a scene with her daughter Gwen and her mother, Muzzy. So they go to this bonsai. I don't want a dog, but should I get a chameleon? I mean, I don't really like reptiles and lizards and stuff like that, but they're beautiful. Her reptile, whatever that is, her chameleon is really, really beautiful. It's like really pretty. So Gwen's chameleon has been sticking out his you-know-what. So that's why she wants to hook him up with someone. Not someone, another chameleon. Okay? So she says that she wants to go to Portland. She's ready to kind of spread her wings and do something different. Bronwyn is uncomfortable with that. You know, Bronwyn moved her daughter and her boyfriend into her home because she wasn't ready for her daughter to leave. All right? And she's not ready for her mother to leave. And they're both saying like, well, we're ready to leave. Our mother's like, I'm not ready to leave yet, but I will eventually need my own space. Okay. So Gwen says she wants to go to Portland and she wants to have new experiences. Bronwyn says that she's never been alone because, you know, she grew up, she went to BU for a short stint, got pregnant, and she's always had Gwen by her side. So she says she's not ready for this. Her mom says that she doesn't plan on staying, but she'll be there for now. But she needs her own space. And at one particular point, they flash back because, you know, one of the storylines that Bronwyn has been having has been her difficult relationship with her mom. You saw what the psychic said to her. She's like, well, your mom has some other health issues. You need to just work on that relationship. And then they flash back to these moments. And it really feels like Bronwyn and her mother, again, we're watching a reality show, so we can't cover and it's a bunch of different people. We can't cover how they got there, but they flash back. And it seems like Muzzy and Bronwyn really are in a good place. Because a lot of people were like, oh, Muzzy is a terrible human being. That's a terrible mom, blah, 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 blah. But it feels like they really got to a genuine place. That scene was probably my favorite scene of the episode, besides the Vulture scene. But I felt the love in that, in those three different generations. I was like, oh, this is really sweet. They were making jokes with each other. Muzzy seemed a little bit less, crotchety. You know what I mean? So she says to her mother, she's like, the reason why you want to leave is because of Todd? She said, I could get rid of him. And Muzzy says, I think Todd is going to get rid of you. Ooh. Muzzy's always going to be very much like how she was poking the roots of that bonsai. She's going to poke at Bronwyn. But Bronwyn's a Virgo. Virgos are, you could poke at a Virgo, but they could take a lot. So I'm not surprised. So, Bronwyn then says that Gwen thinks the best days of her life are ahead of her, and this pulled at my heartstrings. And she's like, she says that these are the best days of her life. So Gwen is looking forward to leaving you remember being this age, leaving the nest and thinking that yes, there are going to be some really great days ahead of me. And for Bronwyn, and I'm sure other fellow parents, she's like, these are my best days. Miss Brown Sugar says the codependence of it all. Yeah. Bronwyn says that she's had so much progress with her mother and that she isn't looking forward to her mother leaving her. Who would have thought? Exactly. Crystal says Muzzy's gonna Muzzy, and she always does. But Bronwyn's able to take it. She doesn't mind. Oh, Nora says, hold on, Nora, I'm gonna get your comment. Nora says, I connected with Bronwyn on this. My son is only 16 and is in the sixth form and intends to leave Belize to get his degree. The idea of my baby leaving the country, crying emojis. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, damn. Mrs. T says, nope, I'm a parent and I don't feel that way. And look, there are parents that don't feel that way. Who was it? Was it Heather who said that she didn't feel that way? And and Bronwyn mentioned there's like, and then she had like a big upset because Heather didn't. Well, no, Heather had a big upset because she thought that Bronwyn was judging her because she's like, I'm okay with them leaving. So not every parent feels that way. Tish says, I'm an overprotective Jamaican mother. I was more than ready to move out. Oh, I have an overprotective Jamaican mother. I was more than ready to move out. Me too. And my mother was blindsided when I was like, yeah, so I'm moving out. I had just turned 18 too, and I was going off to college. And I was like, yep, moving out. She's like, where are you moving? Who said you can move? The law. The law said I can move, and I moved out at 18. And I never turned back. Jermaine says Bronwyn never lived alone. She didn't. All right, let's get to this final scene, and then we're going to get to callers. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. And as I mentioned to you before, everything Kempire, you guys are talking about, are you okay? Are you okay? Some of you have been buying the Are You Okay merch. It's a great gift. So if you have a loved one and you want them to buy you an Are You Okay, send them to houseofkempire.com. That's HAUS of Kempire.com. Make sure you go get your Are You Okay merch. We also have tour merch. We have a Twerking on a Fence merch. Someone bought that the other day. We've got Woo 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 merch, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all quality. Be sure to check that out in the description, along with everything else Kempire. Thanks to those of you that sent in Super Chats, those of you that sent in Cash Apps, Venmos, PayPals. I love it when I go into my Cash App and I got a little bit of a balance. Thank you. Okay. All the information will be available in the description. Let me say thank you, Keith, for another super chat. Keith says, Deadbeat Brittany. Damn. Makes me roll my eyes to the back of my vertebrae every time she speaks about her parenting or Jared. She's more desperate than Teddy. Well, I will never argue the fact that Brittany is desperate. Yeah. Keith says, I should buy one for my cousin because he be having issues. Oh my gosh. And very much like a Virgo, you gonna tell him about it. I got you this because you be having issues. Are you okay? Y'all are a mess. I love it though. If he does get one, send us a picture. All right. Oh, damn. Pageant Mommy says, I was about to overshare. I will call my therapist. Oh, all right. This is a safe space. But you don't have to share. It's all right. Oh, are you feeling a way about your child leaving the nest? What's going on, Pageant Mommy? We'll talk in person. Next live show. Desiree says, I moved out at 18 too, but had to keep coming back until I finally got it right. That's okay. At least you tried. All right. Muggsy she's gangster. I enjoy it. It was my favorite scene. I also wanted a bonsai. Those bonsais were gorgeous. And the whole experience looked like it would be fun. I'm so over the paint and sip stuff. Let's go and get some bonsais. Just saying. For our chameleons. All right, so they end this episode with Brittany and Meredith having a sit down. How did you think the sit down went? Meredith apologizes to Brittany, but remember, she's very careful about her words. She's like, I'm so sorry that I hurt your feelings because you overheard some of the things that I said on the plane. I was talking to my friend. And didn't mean for you to overhear it. She didn't say that, but I'm going to add that part. Danielle says, I am not looking forward to my baby leaving, but I'm excited for her to experience it. I'm sure. That's got to be hard. Dion says, I live in Houston and my 9th grade is planning for her exit to Spelman College now. Not the 9th grader already talking about Spelman. Tell her to slow down. But good for her. She wants to go to Spelman. At least she has direction. At least she knows where she wants to go. It's a good school. That's amazing, Dion. But I know. Enjoy these next couple of years while you have them, right? Right? Pageant Mommy, this is what I thought too. Pageant Mommy says the sit down, quote, sit down was probably an HR mandate. I feel like there were lots of conversations behind the scenes between Meredith and HR and Brittany in HR. Hence why you see Brittany coming in willing to have the conversation and open to having the conversation. Jamaki says that Meredith used her lawyer language. I agree. Miss Parker says that was the most disingenuous non-apology. I agree. I definitely agree with that. I feel as if at this particular point, they were like, we're just going to move on. They're going to be civil, and that's going to be about it. Keith says, I was happy to move to LA once I turned 22. I left the day after graduating college. Okay, Keith. Keith was like, I'm up out of here. Toya says that it was very disingenuous. Ty says, how long have you been live? Alive in this world? No. We've been live for almost 2 hours. Okay. We've been live for 2 hours. Okay, hour and a half. I was late. Margaret says, at this rate, Bravo, I need to buy a private plane Bravo needs to buy a private plane to travel. I mean, you still have to follow federal mandates when you're in the sky. Just saying. Private or not private. Kendra, thank you so much for another super chat. Kendra says, in keeping with tradition, can we hear the Lisa Bravo? Fine. Look, fine.
Got it. Mary can go f*** herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a f***ing whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and her dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Mary is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that piece of garbage whore. I f***ing hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go f*** herself.
I know they hate to see me coming. The housewives hate to see me coming. Like, I'm gonna put that on like my phone so I can just play it at random moments. Just saying, feels good. Feels like a warm hug. I know that's why you guys wanted it. Thank you for the super chat, guys. We're almost at 300 likes. Keep liking the video if you haven't already. Taurus Moon says, I hate that recording. Okay. Well, just spit in my face. Okay. Phoenix says, I love when you play this. Thank you. We appreciate it. Phoenix says, half of New York. Mm-hmm. Now she's probably getting to the other half, allegedly. All right. So Brittany seems open to Meredith's apology. She accepts the apology, and she also apologizes for the shady comment with the TikTok. And Meredith said it was more than shady. Okay. That was more than shady. Pageant Mommy says, I am an only child and have an only child. I taught her to be independent, strong woman like me, but I am still a mommy, if that makes sense. Yes, it does. I can't imagine. Jamie says, the recording we need is from that plane ride. Well, I wasn't on it, because please understand, normally, I don't record, even though Andy probably thinks otherwise. If I was on that plane ride and I knew it was the Housewives, I would have recorded that sucker. I would have been like this, boom. Even if it was just the audio, because I don't want to have my camera up, but I would have been like this, boom. And if they allegedly stopped me when I got off the plane in regards to you need to sign an NDA, I'm like, I'm not signing jack-ish. Not signing a thing. Y'all should have hated the fact that I was on this flight. All right. That's why I find it so shocking. I don't know, but all right. So, but all is good in the hood between Meredith and Brittany by the end of this conversation. Look, they're not best friends, but they can be civil. All right. Oh, and I just got the Meta glasses. Mm-hmm. I would have had that suckers on like this. Very conveniently, as it was going through, I've been like this. And put them on. Record. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, wait, hold on. They're not here, but we'll pretend that these are my Meta glasses. Hold on, y'all. Look. What? Nothing going on here. Nothing going on here. Damn, I need to clean these suckers. I haven't put these on in a hot second. They don't even fit my head. My head got bigger? Damn. Not my head got bigger. All right, let's get to the callers, guys. I've been talking for an hour and a half, and brother is tired. But make sure you are following the channel. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Okay? All right. Yanette says they probably signed an NDA prior. No, they didn't. They didn't sign no NDA. You can't make people getting on a commercial flight sign some sort of NDA. Okay? All right. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. I see you guys. Cute Potato. I see you. Not Set Me Free. We're not playing no Set Me Free. All right, let's get to our calls. Keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged, and they agree not to use profanity or derogatory statements, and they agree to abide by the timer. There we go. Leash says, I love your recaps. The sound effects alone, dead emoji. Thank you. Alma says, the preview for next week seems wild. We shall see. We shall see. All right. All right. Toya's backstage. We're going to bring Toya up first. Toya, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You too.
Thank you. I just want to say we know Meredith is lying because it's very easy to remember the movies that you watched on the flight. And I think that was her alibi. I watched 2 movies and I took a nap. And she was not expecting them to ask her details about those movies, that she couldn't even remember one. And let me tell you something. The Big, Rich, Happy, Fit Asians, whatever, I'm sorry, that movie is.
Crazy Rich Asians.
The ending, yes, that movie's really good, by the way. It's been out since 2018 and it's been on every flight. But the ending is very memorable because they got engaged. So, like, why would you not remember that? If you were really watching the movie, you remember that, okay? So Meredith is lying. And Bronwyn, I feel bad for her because that's a thing, y'all. Like, that is a thing when you have never been alone. And why does she feel alone? She has time. I feel even worse for her now that I think about it because you do have somebody. You are not alone, girl.
Remember, he flies to New York all the time.
Yeah, but but the way she was making jokes, like, I don't know, honey. All right, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Toya.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. All right, Nia's backstage. We're going to bring Nia up next. Nia, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Okay, I'll be quick today.
It's okay.
Okay, so Heather was me this episode, but a white woman. If I were in her shoes, I would use the same words towards Meredith and Lisa. Harassed, bullied. The only words that you were missing were attacked and aggressive. Ooh. I really need to see video footage of that plane. And I also need Andy to not condone violence and mention that as a disclaimer at the reunion. We know you're watching Kempire, so just take notes. And lastly, Bronwyn I don't know why she's loved. This Virgo pension planner, my girl is not even an American citizen. Like, what in the 90-Day Fiancé? She also snitched on both of her friends, quote unquote, Brittany to Angie last year, and now Whitney to Brittany. Like, I'm just here taking notes as a Canadian, just in case I want to find me an American at this point. But yeah, she is just a planner, and I don't know why she's loved. And happy Thanksgiving, you Americans.
You too, Nia. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks.
Damn, Nia tore them apart. All right. Let me bring up Angel W next. Angel, what did you want to Here you go, Angel, with this damn picture. Angel, I can't hear you. Angel?
Hey, Kim, your ornament will be there on Monday. I got a shipping update
Okay, I got a few things. Okay, so I need to go after Monday to get it. Okay. What did you want to share?
Okay. So I think Meredith plausible deniability marks will never show accountability. I know she freaked out and there is no denying it now. She went all the way off and she should have just been like Drake, did whatever she took and been out like a light for the entire flight. Because, girl, it's messy. And I'm surprised Brittany's fake self actually took the apology and accepted it. But that's a whole nother story. She'll do anything for the camera. And based off of that therapy session with Olivia and seeing Heather's special, a lot of those beliefs she needs to get indoctrinated from that, and she needs to hitch herself to a new cart that is not Jared to try to make her way to heaven and fix some stuff internally, because girl got a lot of work to do. That's it.
Thanks, Angel. And isn't Brittany still Mormon? She hasn't left the church. So it could be some of that too. All right, let's bring up Duchess D next. Duchess, what did you want to share?
Hello, Kempire.
Hey.
So very quickly, you remember how when sitcoms were 30 minutes on network television, there would always be at least one episode where two characters have two different sides of a ridiculous situation that happens. And then towards the end of the episode, someone steps in and tells what actually happened. And it's something that's in the middle, but nowhere near as dramatic as either side is telling. That's what I think is happening here. I think I can believe that Meredith was very rude to Brittany on a plane. I can also believe Meredith talks in her sleep. But I also don't believe that she got, physically, pushing chairs, pulling hair. We need the pilot. We need a flight attendant. We need the black box. We need something. I feel like the truth just lies somewhere in the middle. And Brittany and her daughter, do you think her daughter's going to be put on Next Gen NYC?
Brittany's daughter?
Yeah.
I don't think she doesn't, unless she lives in New York. I don't think so.
I mean, I could see her moving for it, but she's doing very good. She got her own professional. She has great, she's fantastic. And she's more mature than her mama.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you all get some good food tomorrow. And I'll try and call in again when I'm working from home.
Thank you, Duchess.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so she says sleep talking. Hold on. Because remember they said that during the episode? So this is Meredith. I can't stand Brittany. She look, she started waving her hands. She's talking about my marriage. That biatch. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share?
Okay. What up to everybody? Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
You too.
My take from this, Meredith is doing the prescription drug alcohol cocktail from her reactions, because she just living in her own world and we just here to see. And that wasn't an apology because she's so, in her mind, she didn't do anything wrong. So she's going to do it again. And it's going to be even worse than that. So I hope production have their cameras filled because we need to see that. Brittany, that's why it's so important for you to have a good, healthy relationship with your mother, because if you don't have a good relationship with your mother, that's going to affect you in your relationships with people for your lifetime. Her daughter is smart enough to go through therapy so that she won't be like her mother, because her mother is dicks personified. She got to have a male figure in her life from the bringing up from that church that imprinted on her that the only way that she gonna go to heaven is she got to have a man in her life. It don't matter if it's a good man, but she always get the bad man.
Wow. Thank you, Miss Bernice. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, kiddo. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Ooh, there we go. All right. Let's bring we have a couple more callers, guys. Keep liking the video if you haven't already. Oh, let me drop the call link for the general audience. Oops. We just hit 300 likes. I forgot to drop it for you guys. Ooh. Apologies. We'll get to these calls really quickly. Wendy's backstage. Shout out to our members. Wendy, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. Okay, so everybody said about everything that I was going to say about Meredith, but she's always inebriated. So,
Allegedly.
So I'm sorry. Yeah, allegedly. But anyway, with the Bronwyn situation, I can understand both ways. I have a 20-year-old son, and right now, if he left me, I would be like, oh, no, don't leave me. But then I'm like, go, 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 go on both sides. I'm like, go, go, go. But
make sure you come back.
Right. But I just feel for her that moment. And then also, FYI, I have a dual citizenship here and also in Germany because I was born in West Germany.
Oh.
So
that's a good passport, Wendy.
I know, right? Because I might need to go back. Because I'm an army brat. So wow. Yeah. And her mother reminds me so much of my mom because she has no filter. My mom has no filter. My mom is 82 and has no filter. And yes. And I was also a whoops. I was not supposed to be here too.
Well, we're glad you are.
Yes. And that's it. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody listening to and to you, Kempire.
You
and
too,
I'll talk
Wendy.
to you later.
Wendy, you know how hard it is to get German citizenship? Just saying.
Hey, I was born in it, so.
Congratulations. Must be nice. Bye, Wendy.
Bye.
All right. Keith is backstage. We're going to bring Keith up next. Keith, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, pretty well. But okay, I have a few things that she didn't want to say. So first thing first, Brittany, I'm gonna be on her every single episode. I can't stand her. You know, there is something about her being a deadbeat that just irritates and grinds me so hard. And I don't know what it is, but then again, I also don't like Tamara. And you know, Tamara kids don't like her either. I don't know, maybe it's just me and deadbeats. We just don't get along. But also, I just want to say, let's not forget that Meredith threw that drink on Brittany's lap, and I don't care if it was her lap or her head. Brittany can be coming for her every single day because that was disrespectful. And also, Meredith, quite frankly, you should be honored that Brittany even brought up the fact that Seth was with a woman because, quite frankly, I thought he was with a man. Like, I mean, I seen him on what's that other show, that New York
Next
City
Gen.
show? Yes, Next Gen. Yeah, isn't he one pansexual? So I heard. So she should just be lucky that Brittany brought that up and not that he was with a man. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and one last thing, Bronwyn, I'm not upset that she actually is the bone collector because once it's shown on TV and once it's being recorded, why are you complaining? Move on. Next.
Oh, thanks, Keith. All right, let me bring up Cynthia next. Cynthia, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hi, Kempire. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Kempire, you cannot ever make me hate Meredith. I love Meredith. And I have a Sagittarius moon. I love Lisa, too. I think that Meredith was just being strategic with her responses. I'm starting not to like Whitney again. Whitney can go as well. And I know she's not talking about someone being inebriated. Her and Heather. Just saying.
I will say this. When I I didn't meet her officially. I was in the same room with her, and someone was talking to her. This was like the first BravoCon in New York City. She seemed lit. But, I mean, they all drinking and having a good time. But it was like an interesting lit. It was sort of like this. Just saying. That was the one time that I met her, and I was just like, oh, okay. But fine. Could have been tired,
I wanted
too.
to ask you something. Hey, Kempire, I wanted to ask you something. Is Kempire really your real name?
Yeah.
Really? Oh. Interesting.
Cynthia, thank you.
Kempire.
You
Enjoy
too.
your Thanksgiving.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. April's backstage. We're going to bring April up. We're going to take these last couple of calls, guys, and I got to go because I have other things I got to take care of. But look, I got to cook too. Shoot. All right. April's backstage. April, what did you want to share?
Hi, happy holidays, Kempire, and everyone in the chat. So, I do feel like Meredith did turn up on that plane, and she should have just said it, even though she's a lawyer, so she probably didn't want to admit it. But it's just like, just tell her, I don't like what you said. You're always talking about everybody in their relationship, and so this is me doing my big one on you. And Brittany needed someone to turn up on her, maybe not like physically, because that's not warranted, but mind your business. And I don't like Brittany either. Like deadbeat moms, deadbeat dads, I will not see it for you because the purpose of going to family therapy is so everybody can heal. You're not there to be the support girl. And I just think it's a front. Hopefully she'll get better, but I don't see it because once you're deadbeat, you're always a deadbeat. And I do think Mary was, just a little bit kind of mean in not inviting her to that event, because if you are supposed to be of the cloth, and yes, although you are a human, you still have to extend grace because that's what you would want someone to do for you, right? So, I just thought it was a little bit hypocritical, but I get it because you don't like Brittany either. Have a good day.
You too, April. All right. We have Mama Z backstage. Mama Z, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
You too.
This episode I really, really enjoyed. I personally enjoyed the ladies really holding Meredith's feet to the fire. Like we see on other seasons where Black women, let's be for real, when they get into intense arguments and they get in each other's faces and they're screaming and yelling, oh, we're all put under this umbrella. Oh, that's how Black women act. We're ghetto, we're loud, we're ratchet. But here we go, little Miss White lawyer Meredith being disgruntled, being disrespectful. Several of the ladies literally accounted her kicking Brittany's seat, it was refreshing for them to be like, no, you're not going to twist it. You can say as many lawyer-tistical words as you can. This is what happened, and we're going to bring it to the forefront. I thought it was refreshing. I don't know who told Little Miss SpongeBob SquareBox Heather to be the leader of it, because nobody asked for that, Heather. Because if that was the case, you shouldn't have been friends with Jen Shaw all those years. Jen Shaw done screamed and yelled and acted a fool and pushed, slammed stuff and broke stuff, and you sat there and you filed your nails and you defended her. So call the thing a thing, Heather. It was her chance to poke at Lisa and Heather's structure of their relationship. Yes, Heather was wrong, but Meredith was wrong, but then nobody asked Heather to lead the pack. But that's all, y'all.
Thank you, Mama Z. Take care.
Bye.
Do you guys think the reason why Meredith did not get in trouble on the flight was because she was a white woman? You saw what happened with Portia recently. And when a white woman brought accusations against her. I mean, she's now been cleared, but just saying. Excommunicado's backstage. Excommunicado, what did you want to share about Salt Lake City?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
With what you just said, that just brought back the whole Portia memory, and I'm wondering why that white lady hasn't been sued or something for the claim she made. But anyways, for Salt Lake City, I would say Olivia deserves her own contract and her own pay because her mother is not taking care of her anyway. So I've given a lot to the show. She deserves that. And secondly, I don't know why Meredith acts like she always puts 1 + 1 = 25. Because someone says, okay, you were drunk and forgot what happened on the plane, and suddenly you are saying, oh, I don't have substance abuse issues. Last season, Brittany said, oh, she was vomiting and crying, and then you are saying I'm bulimic. It's not adding up. And in that same vein, it could be that just because Brittany said, oh, your husband is cheating, she went on the plane and started thinking, Brittany said, oh, my husband slept with a whole village, and started acting up based on that. It makes no sense. And I think another reason why probably nobody recorded this is because of the way in this group they've made recordings like a taboo because of what happened with Brittany last season. And lastly, I was going to ask you, which show do you think is having a better season so far? RHOP or Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake City right now. I mean, I feel like RHOP is going to get a little bit better based off of the preview and the video that I did earlier today, but I definitely think Salt Lake City.
Okay, fair. I think for me, they are both. The only thing that makes Salt Lake City a bit better for me is the fact that we are getting some really good personal story as regards Bronwyn and Brittany. Yeah,
I feel like everyone's bringing it on Salt Lake in comparison to RHOP. Not everyone's bringing it. We have quite a few people that are not bringing it. So then there's that. All right, excommunicado, I gotta go. Got a lot of people waiting. All right, let's bring up Ariel next. Hold on, Ariel, are you there?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
So for this week's episode, I really did love it. I do think Heather and Whitney are trying to be like judge, jury, and executioners. And I just think they need to stop trying to kind of produce the moment. But I do like the fact of them trying to hold people accountable and that anybody can really get that. The one thing that I want to bring about Meredith is like kind of her contradicting nature, and it's like really condescending. The moment they were in the nail salon and she said, do I feel sorry for Brittany that she can't hold a relationship and she struggles professionally 100%. And I get that you're mad at her, but I just thought that was so rude and nasty. In the words of Nene Leakes, so rude, so nasty. And it's kind of like you attack people, but you expect like a sympathetic apology, and it just doesn't match. And you can't meet nasty with an action. And to Heather's point, you do kind of lose your ability to play victim once you kind of reach a certain level. And I think that Meredith should really take that into consideration when she's thinking about this situation. And that's all. But I hope you have a happy holiday, Kempire.
You too, Ariel. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, let's bring up Lexi next. Lexi, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
You too.
I was just thinking about Heather. I know she is so problematic and everything, but it kind of made me wonder. She did suffer some type of emotional or mental, some type of issue with Jen Shaw, with her and that fight and how she carried it for so long and everything. And I'm wondering now if this is her kind of response to it, her trauma response to it, where she's very much like, you're not going to get away with this. No one defended me. I had to keep this kind of held in and everything. And now I'm like, I'm not going to tolerate it from anybody anymore. So just kind of going, no, I don't know. I'm just thinking about that in that regard. And with regards to Meredith is just, even though she's a lawyer that never practiced law, and we all know that, she has got the lawyer response down. Deny, deny, deny. And she's going to go to her grave saying, you all are crazy. I did nothing wrong. But something happened. It doesn't make sense. Too many people are saying the same thing or similar stories. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks,
Happy holidays.
You too, Lexi. Take care. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely interesting. I don't know if we'll get to the bottom of it. Angel, thank you so much for being a member for the last 8 months. Sidebar, Heather and Whitney moving the mattress because Heather was too embarrassed to hire movers, or just for theatrics? I think for theatrics. Hopefully. I don't know. Tracy, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. She says, hey, Kempire, so I guess now Whitney and Bronwyn are about to go through it since Bronwyn is a venomous snake. Well, it does seem like they're going to have a little bit of an issue in regards to her sharing information about that she had shared with Bronwyn on camera. I'll just say that. All right, let's move on. All right, I want to say thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone watching on Twitch, those of you watching on X, those of you watching on Facebook, and those of you watching, of course, here on YouTube. If you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate this week's episode of Salt Lake City, and your thoughts on the episode and your thoughts on what we had to say. Let me see how many people, how you guys are rating this week's episode, because Potomac had like 80%. And we had 2,000 people in the chat. We don't have that many in this chat. So although I think Salt Lake City is better, we have quite a few more people watching Potomac. Let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, 76% of you voted that this episode was between 7 and 10. So close to what Potomac was getting this week for their episode. So we shall see. We shall see. Happy Thanksgiving to those that celebrate. For those that don't celebrate, happy holidays, because officially the holidays will begin after tomorrow. Today is the busiest travel day here in the U.S. So safe travels. Hopefully everyone gets to where they need to get to safely and securely. So I will see you all in the next one. I am officially off tomorrow. Don't ask me for nothing, okay? I might go live on TikTok or something like that. That's why you should follow me on TikTok. But that's about it, all right? All right. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Become subscribed and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on breaking news. We've been having a lot of breaking news lately. And make sure you're following us in other places like our Twitch fam. Shout out to our Twitch fam as well. And of course, thanks to everyone that was a part of the conversation. I will see you all in the replay. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.
Ever notice how ads always pop up at the worst moments? When the killer's identity is about to be revealed. During that perfect meditation flow. On Amazon Music, we believe in keeping you in the moment. That's why we've got millions of ad-free podcast episodes, so you can stay completely immersed in every story, every reveal, every breath. Download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.